your dream to get signed to Michael Bibi and Pause's label, Solid Grooves, or even collaborate with Michael Bibi himself? Well, Michael revealed on his Instagram this week that one young artist has done exactly that. So I thought I'd break down the post and chat about it more in depth. So let's dive in. So on Wednesday the 8th of March, Michael Bibi posted this carousel on his Instagram, which had the picture of her hands and a letter. The caption reads, "I first met Kinhao after he snuck backstage at one of my shows, handing me a letter explaining that it had a USB with music inside. Receiving USBs is normal, but the letter was the most heartfelt thing I'd ever received. I prayed the music would be good, and it was stacked full of amazing tracks. One of the songs was using the exact same sample of the track I was already working on with the Audio Bullies. And if I'm honest, the vocal arrangement was better than mine. I knew I had to call him and ask him to join me on the track immediately. Today, the song is at number 3 in the Beatport charts. He is an extremely talented kid with virtually no professional releases under his belt before this, so I wanted to do the right thing and hopefully help him achieve his dreams as a touring producer DJ. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Kinhao." So for me, there's loads of key learning areas from this post. So let's break that down. So the first part, I first met Kinhao after he snuck backstage at one of my shows, handing me a letter explaining me a USB was stuck inside. The biggest thing in your army when it comes to being a DJ and producer is your network. You have to keep building your network at all times, whether it's socially or actually at gigs, and getting into the backstage of a party or the green room is killer. In the last 15 years of running data transmission, I can definitely say I have never, ever, 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 ever snuck backstage or gone in a green room that I was never supposed to go in at all. Definitely not done that ever. I've definitely never worn the same wristband from previous parties, just in case the same colour was used at another party to blag my way backstage, and definitely never walked confidently past security guards into a backstage area because I knew that's where I needed to be. Definitely never done that. Or maybe I have. In fact, in the early years of building data transmission, I planned my clubbing adventures on which managements of artists that I knew I wanted to work with, that maybe by meeting that manager would unlock not just the artist playing, but other artists on their managements just from being in that backstage area. Also, one of these things that I always think is get yourself lucky. And to get yourself lucky, you have to put yourselves in your position to get yourself lucky. You'll make your own luck by hard work and networking. As in this young producer's case, he's done exactly that. He's snuck backstage and he's gone with a purpose. And that purpose is to hand these demos to Michael Bibi. He was also potentially already prepared for the meet, and it wasn't just a USB in his pocket. The second part of the letter, handing me a letter explaining it had a USB stick with music inside. Receiving USBs is normal, but the letter was the most heartfelt thing I'd ever received. It's one to go to parties with pocket USBs in case you meet DJs and producers that you can possibly network with. If you're doing that, make sure you've got the absolute best tracks on that USB. And also a little bit of bio saying who you are. Make sure your contact details are on the USB, but also on each of the tracks. And the final little hack is make sure you put a photo on there. So when that person fires up the USB into their computer and sees a picture, they'll go, "Oh yeah, I met so-and-so," or "I met that person," and remember your face. This young producer also leveled up his demo USB by adding this letter to it. And obviously this was his dream to be on Solid Grooves. And like I said, he's gone with a purpose. He went the extra level of adding the letter. And these things make the difference. If you're sending a demo in the post, it's been known DJs and producers send a bottle of booze with their demo and a letter saying, "I'd love to take you for a drink so I can play you my music, but I know that's not possible because you're so busy. So I've sent you the drink so you can enjoy my music with it." If you want to add even an extra level, finding out that favourite tipple really, really pushes the extra level. When it's spoken about, do the research about labels you want to work with. This is the research we talk about. It's going that extra level and finding out everything about the label, everything about the culture of the label, when the parties are, who runs them, and every little nook and cranny of that label that you want to be on. Especially when it comes to these bigger labels, it's key. Okay, here's the next part. I prayed the music would be good. It was stacked full of amazing tracks. One of the tracks was using the exact same sample of the track I already were working on with the Audio Bullies, and if I'm honest, his vocal arrangement was better than mine. I knew I had to call him and ask him to join me on the track immediately. If you want to release on these bigger labels, then you really need to work on your craft and work on your sound and getting your sound, which is easier said than done. This also shows you don't need to have big social media numbers and big following to get releases on big labels, especially when the big label has a head DJ at the top of it. Labels like Solid Grooves, Hot Creations, Ram, IE, Michael Bibby, Jamie Jones, Andy Siege, Charlotte DeVitt. All these people are playing big shows and they can build records and build artists by playing records over and over and over again for numbers of months. So if you're targeting these more club-focused labels, make sure you work on your craft, do production courses, get feedback on all your tracks, spend more time making the music and really get it leveled up. Make a banger, get creative with the samples. The Audio Bully sample is a great idea. Learn the sound of the label. For instance, with Solid Grooves, there's tons of videos on how to make a track that sounds like Solid Grooves on YouTube. Go and watch them all. The truly lovely part of this story is the end part. And there are so many horror stories around young producers sending demos to labels where the artist has then gone, ripped off their idea and put it out themselves. And if you're doing this, please just don't and have a bit of heart. You were a young producer once, and if it's a good idea, then work with them and put it out instead of just nicking it. But let's read what Michael did again. He's a young, extremely talented kid with virtually no professional releases under his belt before this, so I wanted to do the right thing and hopefully help him achieve his dreams as a touring producer and DJ. Which is absolutely lovely. So he invited him to the studio to work on the track with Michael Bibby. And the rest of the carousel show the pictures of them doing that. They also show he's been invited to shows, which is amazing. And this will no doubt launch his career even further. If you look on his SoundCloud, he's already had other releases on Solid Grooves to build up the release before this big release. So if you want to get your music signed to Solid Grooves, number one, network and get more friends in the industry. Whether this is going to parties or going to conferences, and there are loads coming up. Brighton Music Conference, Berlin Music Conference, IMS in Ibiza. And if you're going to one of those, they're really, really great for building a network, meeting labels and meeting other industry people. I'm going to be at all three, so if you want to come and say hello to me, I'll put the links to all three in the comments below. Number two, there's always a backstage or green room area. Whether you're told there isn't or not, there definitely always is. Go and find it. And if you want something hard enough, you will get in there. And if you do get in there, please don't be a dick. Number three, work on your craft. Spend more time producing. Do courses about production and watch all the YouTube videos possible. Join Discords like ours where you can get feedback on your demos regularly on a Monday. And get yourself into places and get yourself lucky. Work that out and ride the luck for sure. And if you still need help to get music signed, then my course, The Artist Blueprint, teaches you exactly that. It also teaches you how to build your social media strategy, build your spell on Spotify, get more streams and build more listeners. It'll also teach you how to get more gigs. And if you think that's all for you, then all we need to do is jump on a discovery call and I put the link pinned in the comments to do just that. Let's have a chat. Do you want to play at festivals? Then you need to watch this video on going from couch to festival stage this year. That's up on the screen right now and I will see you in the next video. I've been Graham Farmer. Bye-bye.